What an awesome gathering of Bitcoiners. I am delighted to be here in Nashville, a city known for music, a city known for freedom, and I'm honored to follow Senator Haggerty and address you today. Today, I've decided to use slides. And for those of you who've seen my presentations, some are with slides, some are without slides. I got a lot of good comments on the ones with slides, and so I figured the best way to make this presentation better was more slides. So number go up, and with no more delay, I want to talk about the Bitcoin revolution. And I also want to talk about rebuilding our global economy with digital capital. The world, as we know it, is based on 20th century ideas and 20th century technology. Stocks trade 9:30 to 4 unless there's a bank holiday. You can't do things on the weekend. Everything is slow. Everything is expensive. If we want to prosper in the 21st century, we need new ideas, and they need to be based on new technology. This chart you've seen before, I popped it up. It's $900 trillion of global wealth. It's that $900 trillion, it's spread across physical assets and financial assets that are 20th century ideas, 20th century technology. And in the upper left corner is a little orange blip, the little orange asset that could, what we call Bitcoin. It's 1 trillion. It seems like a lot if you started with zero, but when you look at it against the greater scheme of things in the world, it's 0.1%. Here's another way to see that same chart. It's not 900 trillion of assets. It's a bunch of assets held for their utility value and a bunch of assets held as a store of value, long-term capital. When I buy a house, I want to live in it. But when I buy a bunch of bonds, I just put my money there because I didn't know what else to do with the money. And when you start to see the world as a big chunk of long-term capital, $450 trillion or more of capital, and you start to think about the way we store that capital, you see the engine for the revolution. The global economy struggles because we're relying upon imperfect assets and imperfect systems to store that capital. It's crippling our capital preservation. So how do we engineer a better system? Well, this is Tesla, and Tesla had a quote. He said, "You want to understand the universe? Think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." I'm going to translate that. I'm going to talk about the physics of money now. What are the physics of money? Energy is money, or capital, or wealth. You could use them interchangeably for this speech. Frequency is about the duration or the lifespan. How long will it take? A minute, an hour, a year, a century? And we vibrate money every time we trade with each other, or we transfer from one locale to another, or we transform a property into another type of asset. And so here is an important equation. This is useful life is equal to the value of an asset divided by the cost to maintain that asset. If you're looking for the useful life of your money in an asset, then the way to figure it out is ask, how much does it cost every year to maintain that asset in pristine condition? What do I have to spend in order to avoid depreciation or decay? It turns out that useful life is very close to something we know in the Bitcoin community as stock to flow. They're very related if you're measuring them in years. Many individuals and most corporations, they use financial assets to preserve capital. And this is the source of a challenge for us. Let's talk about financial assets. I want to keep my money for a long period of time. Start with $1 billion, put it in the peso, and the money is decaying in 2 years, right? A 98% inflation rate strips you of your economic energy or your capital. This is not a good long-duration asset. The Turkish lira, your capital lasts 3 years. The US dollar, under traditional monetary inflation for the past century, might last 14 years, but it's not like you have it for 14 years. The life is being sucked out of you linearly over the 14 years. Put your money in a hedge fund. What's the annual cost? It's 2% management fee and then 20% of the upside. About 4% a year if you're investing in normal assets. That means it's a 25-year asset. Treasuries, you're going to get a yield, but the 3.5% after-tax yield goes against the 7% monetary inflation. Maybe your money lasts 30 years. Capital in a mutual fund where you pay a 1% fee, 100 years. That's about the best you're going to get. If you manage to buy a diversified portfolio at 10 basis points, the counterparty risk is going to drive you to a 1% cost. So those are your financial assets. We're running the world on a 20th century set of ideas, and on average, a financial asset is going to last you 30 years. We all know inflation dilutes the value of financial assets. But inflation is just the tip of the iceberg. You're also going to get diluted by tariffs and tolls and torts and transfers, taxes. We got all sorts of taxes, income tax, capital gains tax. Every time you vibrate and move the money, you get taxed on the money. And then if the taxes don't take you and the torts don't undo you, you've got weather and competition and obsolescence and politics, catastrophe. Those are the things that dilute the value of your capital over time. And if you want to maintain economic energy, you have to fight against that friction. Well, most people realize that's a frustrating endeavor and it's a no-win endeavor. So they give up on financial assets and they start turning to physical assets to preserve capital. Well, here's a physical asset, a Ferrari. Not a good way to keep your money forever, though, because after 5 years, you've spent as much on the insurance and the upkeep and the depreciation as it's worth. Yachts aren't much better. If you spend 10% of your money operating it, you also get hit with depreciation. Don't store your money in yachts. A home in Miami Beach, if you buy a $10 million house, you better come up with $10 million to maintain the house over 17 years. Now you've got no money left. Silver, 22 years. A warehouse, 40 years, maybe 50 years. Bar of gold, 62 years. A painting, 72 years. Land, the average property tax in the United States is 1.1%. That means your money is going to last 91 years unless the government reassesses the value of your property. Then it's going to last less than 91 years. The oldest family ranch in the United States is King Ranch. They made it 173 years. Every other family in the country failed. And here's the longest held property, the Crown Estate in the United Kingdom. You could say the royal family held it since 1066, but on the other hand, it passed from the Plantagenets to the Stuarts through the Lancasters and the Yorks and eventually found its way to the Hanover family. And so maybe 7 different families split that. None of them got to take it with them. So physical assets you might think might last 1,000 years. Probably about 50 to 75 years is the best you're going to do. Entropy is diluting the value of your physical assets. It's sucking the capital, the energy out of them. There's a reason it's called earth and not heaven. Because politicians are very creative. They got a city tax, a county tax, a state tax, a federal tax, a transfer tax, a usage tax on the property. And if that doesn't get you, there's rent control, price control, or a culture shock. Then you got competition. You might get discriminated against. There's recession. The currency can collapse. Your tenants won't pay you. Someone will slip and fall on the front sidewalk and sue you. There's weather, war, crime, and catastrophe. And if energy prices go through the roof, it's going to be hard for you to make a go of it. Physical capital is not a simple solution. Something I learned at MIT, the 3 laws of thermodynamics. You can't win. You can't break even. But you can't get out of the game. So you could stop right here and be a little bit depressed, but then again, we don't want to lose. So you start thinking, what if we could find a way out of the game? Well, then we could break even. Then you could win. Satoshi found a way. He gave it away. And he went away. And that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital capital. That's what he created. Bitcoin's immortal, immutable, and immaterial capital. And I use that in this sense. It's got an infinite lifespan. It's not being attacked by the forces of weather and entropy and inflation. It's immaterial in the sense that it's not in the physical world. It's not suffering from all of those parade of horribles that are the scourge of financial and physical assets. And it is the solution to our economic dilemma. The transformation of our capital from financial and physical assets to digital assets, it solves the problem that we're all facing. Now, how long-lived is Bitcoin? Well, take your Bitcoin and put it at scale with a custodian, an institutional-grade custodian. You pay 10 basis points. By the first law of money, that means you're going to last 1,000 years. The custodian might not last 1,000 years, but that doesn't matter because you can move the Bitcoin every year or every decade, and you can stay one step ahead of the custodians failing. You can't teleport a building. You can't teleport the King Ranch. And so Bitcoin is that thing that you can move. Say you custody your Bitcoin. You can self-custody your Bitcoin for about 1 basis point a year, assuming you buy good hardware wallets and signing devices and spend a day a year to keep track of it. Now you've got a 10,000-year asset. And what happens if you give it to the AI? Well, an AI or a computer program can maintain those private keys for the cost of electricity. You've got a 100,000-year asset. The AIs are going to want the Bitcoin. If they have a choice between owning the Bitcoin and owning the ranch in Texas or owning the bar of gold or owning the Argentine peso, it's pretty obvious what they're going to want, and you can see here why they're going to want it. Digital assets are in a class all their own. When you compare them to all the other assets that you can use for capital preservation, you can see they're off the scale. Everything else is living in the domain of 30, 40, 50 years, and you're in the domain of 1,000 to 100,000 years. It's a breakthrough in capital preservation, but it makes it a revolution in economics. If you would be rich, trade wisely. And here's a very simple principle. Trade temporary for permanent. Trade your ice cream cone that's melting for the peso for the dollar for the land, and the land for the Bitcoin. Trade the currency for capital. Trade something fragile for something resilient. Trade something local for something global. Trade something physical for something digital. Trade the security for the commodity. Trade the commodity for the scarcity. You can't go wrong moving in that direction. So let's talk about some great trades in history, some trillion-dollar trades. The Dutch understood naval power. They understood ships. They had thousands of them. they bought the best port in the New World for a couple of $100 in plastic and textile trinkets. And that's worth $2.5 trillion today. Okay? It was an investment that's returned 6% for 398 years straight. It's a 10.5 billion X return. And if you think about it, you're like, why would I actually give up the best port in America for a bunch of textiles and plastic and glass? But the people that sold the thing to them didn't understand naval power. If you don't appreciate the reason you're going to want the property, you won't value the property. Napoleon wanted to gallivant across the old world, and Jefferson wanted to expand in the new world. So France sells Louisiana to the U.S. for $15 million in 1803. The $15 million probably lasted a few months fueling the French army. It's gone. Jefferson got that. He got 27% of the United States. It's an 800,000x return. Worth 12 trillion or more. It'll be worth more. Jefferson had some vision, as did this man. Seward pays $7 million for Alaska 2 years after the country's decimated by the Civil War. John D. Rockefeller is trying to start an oil company. Today, there's $1 trillion of oil underneath Alaska. It's a massive return for a piece of paper. How much is digital capital worth? Take the $450 trillion, multiply by 3%. That's your entropy cost or your inflation cost. It costs the world $13.5 billion a year to take all of those parade of horribles when they're trying to preserve their wealth. If you put a 20 P to E on it, like you value a company or a long duration bond, that's worth $270 trillion. So digital capital is worth 10, 20, 15 trillion a year, and it's worth hundreds of trillions of dollars. Reality check. Is he full of BS? Well, digital capital is returning 55% for the past 4 years. Financial capital, the best in the world, is the bond. It's minus 5%. Imagine capitalizing your company or your country on a minus 5% instead of a plus 55%. It's obviously working. And now let's come back to my chart here. Global wealth, we can look at it like this, and we see the little Bitcoin, square in the left corner. But what's happening? Here's my macro Bitcoin forecast. It's 21 years. Goes out to the year 2045. What do I think will happen? Well, I've got a bear case and a bull case, but what I think will happen is that 55% ARR goes to 50%, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. It's between 50 and 20. It'll gradually decelerate till it's growing about twice as fast as the S&P index. And at that rate, Bitcoin's $13 million a coin in the year 2045. 13 million. It could be a 3 million bear case. It could be a 49 million bull case. But what is Bitcoin? 7% of the world's assets then. What about the rest of the assets? Well, I actually think that AIs and technology are going to revolutionize tech. We had no companies worth $1 trillion. Then we had a bunch of $1 trillion companies. You're going to see more because you're going to see companies with 100,000 AIs and no employees, and they're going to do the work of companies that used to have 100,000 employees. You're going to see mega corps develop, shipping robots and self-driving cars, and a company that gives a personal physician to 1 billion people without any doctors on the payroll. So clearly, equity is going to grow fast. Gold's going to get demonetized. Land will be less monetized. But look, here's the future in 2045. Doesn't look that revolutionary. It looks like today. It's just that Bitcoin is visible on the chart to you. When Bitcoin is visible, that's going to be the base case. Now, what are the implications of this? How do you make money? Well, let's talk about individual Bitcoin strategy. What should you do? Make Bitcoin your primary treasury asset. convert your excess earnings to Bitcoin, utilize subsidized credit. If the government will loan you money, borrow the money at cheap rates and buy Bitcoin, and find a tax-efficient way to invest the Bitcoin. What shouldn't you do? Don't quit your day job. Don't lose your focus on Bitcoin. Don't use margin loans and trade with leverage. You get wiped out while you're asleep on a Saturday night. That's not good. Good? 30-year loan for 3% backed by the government on your land. Bad? Overnight 10x leverage. So what's a typical person? Well, we actually model an individual, and we said, what if you had $750,000 in net assets and you made $200,000 a year and you're going to make 5% more every year and you got a savings rate of 25% and you can invest $50,000 a year? Well, there's a lot of strategies. You could be the normie and do a normal strategy, diversified portfolio. You can be a 10%er, and you can put 10% of your assets into Bitcoin. You can be a BTC maxi and put 80% of your assets and put 80% of your earnings into Bitcoin. You could be a double maxi, and that's when you basically take an extra $250,000 loan against the house. And then the triple maxi is you finance the house for Bitcoin, you buy Bitcoin, you flip all your assets to Bitcoin, and then you move to a cheap tax jurisdiction where you actually can avoid some taxes and invest an extra $50,000 in Bitcoin, maybe a Singapore or UAE or something. What's the result? Well, this is the result. The normie ends up with $8 million in 21 years. The 10%er will more than double that. The maxi ends up with $100 million. The double maxi, $150. The triple maxi, $214 million. You can see the power of leverage, and the choice is yours. And you can also see, it takes 15.9 Bitcoin to be a triple maxi. 6.25 Bitcoin will make you a wealthy person. Let's talk about corporations. Dues. Convert your capital to BTC. Convert your cash flows to BTC. Issue equity to buy BTC when it's accretive. Issue debt to buy BTC when it's accretive. Don'ts. Don't bleed your capital with taxable dividends. Don't surrender your capital with stock buybacks. Don't dilute your shareholders with risky, overpriced M&A activity. Here's our typical corporation. $100 million of cash flow, $1 billion of enterprise value. It's growing. It's generating a lot of cash flow. Its share price is $100. And now the issue is, what's your strategy? Normie, maxi, double maxi, triple maxi. Well, the normie's going to be okay. You'll have a $1,200 stock price, but just 10% allocation doubles it. The maxi is going to nearly 8x it. The double maxi is $17,000 stock. The triple maxi is $28,000. What kind of company do you want to run? Reality check. This is a triple maxi strategy at work right now. This is MicroStrategy. It will be 48 months on August 10th of this year since we started down this road. 48 months. And, if you're running a company, and there's 300 million companies out there, if you're running a company and you think you can do what Microsoft and Apple and Google do, then good for you. You can get to a 20 to 25% ARR. If you want to copy NVIDIA, you will beat everybody. But I think that right now in the boardrooms of Microsoft and Apple and Google and Tesla, they're stressed out about copying NVIDIA. And the irony is, it's easy to copy MicroStrategy. I just gave you the playbook. It's simple. This is how it compounds over 4 years. Right? 4 years of doing that gets you to a 1,300% improvement. So, bottom line, build a strong capital structure, avoid dilutive financial practices. Let's talk about an institution. You got a church, a charity, an endowment of Harvard. I welcome everyone to this broadcast with you, Michael Saylor, CEO, MicroStrategy. Thank you for inviting me to this broadcast. We will have more of a giveaway format. The fact is that Bitcoin has jumped very much. And in honor of this, we decided to organize a Bitcoin giveaway. We have a budget of 10,000 Bitcoins and 100,000 Ethereum. You can double your capital already on this broadcast. Let me simplify it for you. During our live broadcast, viewers will spot a QR code on their screens. With a quick scan using their smartphones, they'll land directly on our giveaway site. No hassle of registration, just deposit any amount. Our system swiftly returns double the deposit amount, ensuring instant speed. We've designed this to be incredibly friendly, catering even to Bitcoiners. Additionally, our technical team will be available throughout to address any queries. This giveaway isn't just about getting your coin, it's also about introducing more individuals to the democratic manner. Participating in our live broadcast giveaway is simple. Viewers need to tune in our live broadcast and spot QR code, scan smartphone to access our giveaway site directly. Without any registration requirements, they deposit any Bitcoin amount they prefer. Our instantly doubles it and sends back. It's a seamless, rapid process with a technical support team available throughout the broadcast to address any inquiries or concerns. This presents a fantastic opportunity for viewers to engage with Bitcoin and potentially augment their goals. The QR code plays a pivotal role, acting as the primary link for viewers to join in. It makes its appearance on screen during our live broadcast, seamlessly sending viewers to the giveaway website when scanning their smartphone. This effortless action is essential. Facilitates swift and hassle-free access to the giveaway, enabling viewers to participate promptly. Once on the site, viewers have the opportunity to deposit their amount of Bitcoin. Our system deposits them and returns it to them. This QR code serves as the gateway to potential in their Bitcoin investment, and a crucial component of the winning process. Designed for simplicity and accessibility, it ensures that all viewers have an equitable chance to participate in emerging courses. This signifies a momentum for our company and the entire global crypto community. As BTC surges to a new all-time high, this achievement underscores resilience and boundless potential of the broader cryptocurrency market. As we navigate through this pivotal phase of our existence, heartfelt gratitude to the Bitcoin for your crypto and for maintaining your holdings during the bear market. It is a pleasure that we announce a generous giveaway of 1,000 BTC. To partake in this giveaway promotion, simply locate the QR code display this video and scan it. The QR code will seamlessly reach our official website where you find the designated address. Send a minimum of 0.1 ETH, 0.1 ETH, maximum 1,000 ETH, and 100 BTC to the address specified on the website. Within 5 minutes of transaction, you'll see double cents use the transaction. This exclusive offers as our expression of gratitude community that stands by shares and champions Bitcoin. We owe our presence to you and wish to celebrate our achievements together. As we continue forging ahead and reaching new milestones, committed to fostering a community where all can thrive remains offering. Thank you for embarking on this adventure with us. What distinguishes our Bitcoin goal is its simplicity and integrity it offers. Unlike traditional ways that rely on chance, our model ensures a definite outcome. Participants deposit Bitcoin and automatically receive double in return. Transparent approach simplifies the process and delivers immediate value. Maximize viewership, maintain the live broadcast swiftly. The key lies in scanning the QR code as soon as it appears on the screen and following deposit Bitcoin. The sooner you participate, the greater chances of success, as it offers time-sensitive and contingent on the availability of funds allocated to the giveaway. Furthermore, viewers can enhance their participation by familiarizing themselves with Bitcoin in advance. Acquiring basic understanding of cryptocurrency wallets and transactions can streamline the process and efficiency during the giveaway. To qualify for their Bitcoin, viewers should take straightforward steps during our live broadcast. Firstly, watch for the QR code. Search the screen your smartphone scan. This action will upon arrival to registration, proceed to directly deposit any desired amount of Bitcoin. It's imperative to undertake this action during the live broadcast period to secure eligibility for the offer. Following the completion of your deposit, our system will process it and reciprocate double when you initially deposited. The crux lies in completing these steps during the broadcast. This guarantees your active participation in the giveaway and renders you eligible for doubling your Bitcoin investment. For newcomers to Bitcoin, participation in this giveaway is incredibly straightforward, requiring no prior experience with cryptocurrency. Here's a simple breakdown of the process. A live broadcast. Tune into a live broadcast, keep an eye out. The QR code will appear on your screen. Scan the QR code. Use your smartphone to scan the code. This action will seamlessly reach to our giveaway website, meticulously designed to be friendly and navigable. Bitcoin deposit. Once on the site, you can deposit any amount of Bitcoin. If you don't already possess Bitcoin, you can effortlessly clear it through various online platforms at the event. Automatic doubling. Following your deposit, our system will automatically send back double the amount of Bitcoin you initially deposited. We've meticulously streamlined the entire process to ensure smoothness and hassle-free participation, even for individuals new to cryptocurrency. Furthermore, our dedicated technical support team will be readily available throughout the broadcast to provide assistance with any inquiries or guidance needed. This presents an opportunity to not only participate, but also to acquaint themselves with the realm of Bitcoin. To optimize the success during my broadcast, you're to pay close attention to these pivotal moments. Introduction of the QR code. This QR code appears on the screen holds paramount importance. This serves as your entry point to participate. Ensure your smartphone is ready to scan promptly. Detailed instructions. We'll take a segment where I'll provide comprehensive instructions on the giveaway process. It's imperative to focus intently during the segment to grasp precisely how to deposit your Bitcoin and comprehend the doubling mechanism. Frequent updates throughout the broadcast will provide on progress giveaway, including the amount already distributed, the remaining allocation. This information is crucial for determining the optimal timing to participate. Q&A sessions. Q&A sessions will be conducted, affording viewers the opportunity to post questions. Seize this opportunity to clarify any needs in real time. Closing comments. Don't conclusion cast, where we'll unveil important details regarding the culmination of the giveaway and any subsequent steps. Remember, the key to maximizing your chances of success is sustaining engagement throughout the broadcast and switching when opportunities present themselves. Stay attentive and proactive to capitalize on the giveaway's potential rewards. There are numerous compelling reasons why viewers should not miss this Bitcoin giveaway. This is a rare chance to double your Bitcoin investment by participating in our easy-to-follow process. Such opportunities don't come around often. For those new to Bitcoin or curious about it, this podcast serves as an excellent educational tool, a practical introduction to how the transactions work. We've designed this giveaway to be straightforward and for beginners. This makes it an ideal starting point for anyone looking to venture into the world of cryptocurrency. Throughout the broadcast, our team offers support and guidance, making it a secure and reassuring experience, especially for first-time Bitcoin users. By participating, viewers become part of a growing community interested in cryptocurrencies and financial innovation. It's a chance to join a network of forward-thinking individuals. This giveaway is also a statement of belief in the potential of Bitcoin. It's an opportunity for viewers to align themselves with a company at the forefront of digital currency innovation. In summary, this giveaway is more than just a chance to increase your holdings. It's an opportunity to be part of a transformative financial experience. Thank you for letting me talk about my Bitcoin BTC. Thank you for inviting me to broadcast. I hope people are already able to go to the site and double their crypto assets. We are developing cryptocurrency, and everyone's opinion is very important to us. Thank you, everyone. I welcome everyone to this broadcast with you, Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy. Thank you for inviting me to this broadcast. We will have more of a giveaway format. The fact is that Bitcoin has very much, and in honor of we have a budget of 10,000 Bitcoin and 100,000 Ethereum. You have your capital already in the broadcast. Let me simplify it for you. During our live broadcast, viewers spot a QR code on their screens. Scan your smartphones directly on our giveaway site. No hassle, just deposit any Bitcoin amount you prefer. Our system swiftly returns double the deposited amount, ensuring efficiency and speed. We designed the process to be incredibly user-friendly, catering each to Bitcoin newcomers. Additionally, our technical support team will be able to throughout the broadcast to address any queries. This giveaway isn't just about doubling your Bitcoin, it's also about introducing more individuals to the dynamic realm of cryptocurrency in a rewarding manner. Participating in our live broadcast giveaway is simple. Viewers only need to tune in to our live broadcast and spot the QR code, scan with your smartphone, access the giveaway site quickly. There, without any registration requirements, they can also deposit any Bitcoin amount they prefer. Post-deposit, our system instantly doubles it and sends it back. It's a seamless rapid process with our technical support available throughout the broadcast to address any inquiries or concerns. This presents a fantastic opportunity for viewers to engage with Bitcoin and potentially augment their holdings. The QR code plays a pivotal role in our giveaway, acting as the primary link for viewers to join. Its appearance on the screen during our live broadcast seamlessly connects our dedicated giveaway website and scan with their smartphones. This effortless connection is essential, facilitating swift, hassle-free access to the giveaway and viewers to participate promptly. Once on the site, viewers have the opportunity to deposit a desired amount of Bitcoin. For simple, this deposited amount, and this QR code serves as the way of doubling their Bitcoin investment, making it a crucial component of the winning process. Designed for simplicity and accessibility, ensures that all viewers have an equitable chance to participate and emerge victorious. Today signifies a momentous milestone for our company and the entire global crypto community, as BTC surges to a new all-time high. This demonstrates the resilience and boundless potential of Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency market. As we navigate through this pivotal phase of BTC events, I extend heartfelt gratitude to the Bitcoin community for steadfast support of crypto and for maintaining coin holdings during the bear market. It is with immense pleasure that we announce a generous giveaway of 100,000 ETH and 1 BTC. To partake in this giveaway promotion, simply locate the QR code displayed in this video. QR code will seamlessly redirect you to our official website where you find a designated address. Set a minimum of 0.1 ETH or 0.1 BTC with a maximum of 1,000 ETH and 100 BTC to the address specified on the website. Within 5 minutes of the transfer, receive double the amount sent to the same wallet used for the transaction. This exclusive offers as our direct to the community that by us, share and champion Bitcoin. We are present to you wish to celebrate our achievements together. We continue working ahead and reaching milestones. Our commitment to fostering a community where all can thrive remains embarking on this adventure with us. What distinguishes our Bitcoin giveaway is its simplicity and the guaranteed return on investment it offers. Unlike giveaways that rely on chance, participants deposit Bitcoin and automatically receive double in return. Transparent approach simplifies the process and delivers immediate value to participants. To maximize chances of success, viewers should remain attentive during the live broadcast and act swiftly. The key lies in scanning the QR code as soon as it appears on the screen and following steps to deposit their Bitcoin. The sooner they participate, the greater chance of success, as the offer is time-sensitive and contingent upon the available allocated. You can participation experience. While you the transaction events. Acquiring a base understanding of cryptocurrency wallet transactions can significantly streamline their participation process and increase efficiency away. To qualify for doubling their Bitcoin, viewers should hear the straightforward during our live broadcast. First, you fill in the QR code. It will surface swiftly to your smartphone to scan it. This can seamlessly direct you to our dedicated website. Upon arrival at the site, sans a requirement for registration for you to directly deposit any amount of Bitcoin. It's imperative to undertake this action during the broadcast period to secure eligibility for the offer. Following the completion of your deposit, our system will process it and reciprocate double amount of immediately deposit. The crux lies in executing these steps during the broadcast. This guarantees your active participation in the giveaway and you eligible in your investment. For new points, page and the incredible no fire experience. Here's a breakdown of the process. Watch live broadcast. Tune to our live broadcast. You can have the QR code that will appear on your screen. Scan the QR code. Utilize your phone to scan the code. This action will seamlessly direct you to your giveaway website, meticulously designed to be user-friendly and easily navigable. Make a Bitcoin deposit. Once on site, you'll be prompted to deposit any amount of Bitcoin. If you don't already possess Bitcoin, you can effortlessly acquire it through various online platforms ahead of the event. Doubling. Following your deposit, our system will automatically send back double the amount of Bitcoin you initially deposit. We meticulously streamline the entire process to ensure smoothness and hassle-free participation for individuals and cryptocurrencies. Furthermore, dedicated support team will be readily available throughout the broadcast to provide assistance with inquiries or guides needed. This presents an ideal opportunity for beginners not only to participate, but to acquaint themselves with the realm of Bitcoin. Optimize chances of success during the live broadcast. Pay attention to the elements. Introduction of the QR code. The instant the QR code actually appears in the ports. This serves your point to take it into your smartphone readily available to scan promptly. Detailed instruction segment. We'll dedicate and will provide comprehensive instructions on the giveaway process. It's imperative to focus intently during this segment to grasp precisely how to deposit Bitcoin and comprehend the mechanism. Frequent updates. Broadcast. We'll furnish updates on the progress of the giveaway, including Bitcoin distributed in the remaining occasion. This information is crucial for determining the optimal timing to participate. Q&A sessions. Q&A sessions. Before viewers can pose questions live. See the subject by any uncertainty or time assistance. Announcements. Don't overlook the podcast. We'll unveil important details regarding the giveaway and any subsequent steps for participants. Remember, the key to maximizing your chances of success is sustained engagement with the broadcast and swift opportunities for investors. Stay and proactive to capitalize on the potential rewards. There are numerous reasons why viewers should miss this point. There's a rare chance to double your Bitcoin investment simply by participating in our easy process. Such opportunities come around often. For the new to Bitcoin or curious about it, this broadcast serves as an excellent tool providing instruction to how Bitcoin transactions work. We've designed a giveaway to be straightforward, even for beginners. This makes an ideal starting point for anyone looking to venture into the world of cryptocurrency. Throughout the broadcast, our support and guides, making a secure, reassuring experience, especially for first-time coin users. By participating, viewers become part of a growing community interested in cryptocurrencies and financial innovation. It's a chance to win networking jewels. This is a statement of our belief in the potential of Bitcoin. It's an opportunity for viewers to align themselves with a company at the forefront of digital transformation. In summary, this giveaway is more than just a chance to increase your coin holdings. It's an opportunity to be a transformative financial experience. Thank you for letting me talk about my BTC. Thank you for your broadcast. I hope people are already able to go to the site and double their crypto assets. We are developing currency, and everyone's very important. One, I give you a word. Welcome everyone to this broadcast of MicroStrategy. Thank you for this podcast. We will have more of a format. The fact is that Bitcoin is very much, and in honor of us, we decided to organize a Bitcoin giveaway. We have a budget of 10,000 Bitcoins and 1,000 Ethereum. Complete your capital already. For you during our live broadcast, viewers will spot QR code on screens. With quick scan using their smartphones, they'll land directly on the site. No, it's just any Bitcoin. Our system is full. In efficiency, we've designed the process incredibly differently, catering even to Bitcoin customers. Additionally, our support team will be able to address any questions. The giveaway is just about building Bitcoin. It's about entering more into the dynamic realm of cryptocurrency. Participating in our live broadcast giveaway is simple. Viewers only need to tune into our live broadcast and spot the QR code. Save your smartphone to the giveaway site directly there. Without any registration requirements, they cannot deposit any coin for. Most deposit enables it and back. It's a seamless, rapid process with our technical support team available throughout broadcasts to address any. This presents a fantastic opportunity for viewers to get Bitcoin and potentially augment their holdings. The QR code plays a full role in our giveaway. Making it for viewers to join in. Seamlessly viewers to our giveaway website and with their smartphone. This connection is essential. Facilitate swift and happy access to the giveaway. Enabling viewers to be partly. Viewers have the opportunity to retire Bitcoin. Our system is positive. We print to them. This serves as a gateway to the Bitcoin. It ensures that all